So this is the water heater. A couple weeks ago, I heard it making a crackling, bubbling noise, and I called SoCal Gas out. They came, took a look at it, and they red tagged it for 3 specific reasons. One, this pipe. It's not supposed to be like that. It's supposed to go straight up. And this is how it looks. And so basically, all of this is, as I understand it, it's no longer, it's just not in code. And because of the condition of it, it had been actively leaking carbon monoxide into the unit. And they pointed out, the contractors that came through, they pointed out the scorch marks on the piping. You can't even see. Looking back on the past 20 months, and specifically through March up until now, I am just overwhelmed by all of the thoughts. There was a couple times in the past where I reached out to at least a roommate, like, do you smell gas? And they didn't smell anything, so I didn't think anything of it. And then the time when I reached out to the landlord to reach out to the tenants to stop leaving the burner on when they leave, that just makes me think, thinking back, was that intentional? My roommate leaving the burner on, because my landlords actually did not do anything. I'd have to go back in the emails, but I don't think they even said anything in response. But nothing was said in a community email to us to be aware of the stove as we're leaving. So, yeah. And then I think about the housing inspectors that came through, and I showed them the unit. I am wondering, were they aware of that at that time, that this was not up to code, and they didn't say anything because they too thought the eviction was going to go through? But I know I showed this to at least 3 different inspectors, and why nobody flagged it then from March to May, I don't understand it. But SoCal Gas came out and they red tagged it sight on scene. So, and then when I called the fire department out and asked them to check everything was okay, because the contractor that came out, they didn't fix everything according to what SoCal Gas initially recognized, and without getting it checked first, they went ahead and turned the gas back on. And because I knew they didn't complete what SoCal Gas said was wrong, I called the fire department, and they came out here and helped me to identify where and how to turn off the gas. And thinking back about the explicitly said they can't get involved on tenant and landlord issues, but they are the trained professionals, and I'm thinking that to not cause any panic and to cover any legalities, they specifically asked me repeatedly if I wanted them to turn off the gas, and I think that was their way of being able to resolve the situation all the while to protect themselves, and I respect that. And so I called SoCal Gas out, and they came back out and re-looked at the water heater, and they re-tagged it. Now, I thought was amazing was when the inspector was here, he turned this unit on, and then he went to go look at the stove in the kitchen. He was there for maybe about 3-4 minutes tops. And he comes back to the unit and holds a little mirror, right around that base, and it had water residue on it, and that was carbon monoxide. And he showed me on the bolts of the piping where there was condensation, that was carbon monoxide. So basically, because that's been like that my entire time I've been living here, there's been carbon monoxide actively leaking into this unit for about around 6 years. That's cool. And when the new landlords bought this building, they bought it as is. And technically what should have happened then was they should have just shut this building down and brought everything up to code. They didn't do that. They thought they would try to manipulate the system instead. And here we are. So yeah, I'm just wondering if the past experiences were actually part of a plan, and it's got me a lot of freaked. Because that was very risky. And like when the second SoCal Gas guy came by, he had pulled out the oven, and when he pulled out the oven, there was a piece of paper towel shoved under it. Like, I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist, but at the same time, it's like, well, fuck, are these people trying to kill me? I got questions, but it's just, I'm happy that the city finally stepped in. They're finally doing the things that should have happened months ago, because mind you, I submitted a complaint back in December for harassment and illegal eviction. So I mean, in my mind, how I understand things, it should have never even got this far. But here we are. I'm gonna do whatever I have to do to be in compliance with people, and honestly, like, the landlord's like, oh God, I don't know what I have to do to be in, for them to not try to spin things of me not being uncooperative or whatever, but I don't know. I'm just cleaning the house today, replanning my electrical plan, and yeah, gonna apply for jobs and go from there.